Can 3Sigma Audio's electric guitar impulse responses make this sound like a Telecaster? Let's find out. Hi everybody, Andy Kravlicha here, and unless you've been living under a rock for the past couple of years, in which case welcome, and sorry for all the bad news, you can't have escaped the monumental impact that impulse responses have had on the amp sim and amp model community. These days you can't even sell a dedicated hardware amp sim unit like a Line 6 Helix or an Atomic amplifier without including the ability to load third-party impulse responses. Now, third-party impulse responses are often cabinet impulse responses, and we guitarists are quite used these days to the fact that we use impulse responses to simulate the mic'd up guitar cab. But there's other types of impulse responses as well, and theoretically you could make an impulse response of anything which affects a signal as it goes from one end to the other. Now, there are all kinds of impulse responses on the market. Cabinet IRs, of course, are the most common, but there's also room reverb impulse responses, microphone model impulse responses. I've even seen cable model impulse responses for that vintage cable treble roll-off, and even a Tube Screamer 808, which I've seen an impulse response of. My pal Ben Lane directed my gaze to something very nice and very revolutionary, which was the new 3Sigma Audio electric guitar impulse responses. 3Sigma Audio's electric guitar impulses emulate some of the most famous guitars in history, including the Fender Telecaster and Stratocaster, the Les Paul, PRS guitar, and so on. Now, very recently I recorded a cover song of Casey Musgrave's new single Space Cowboy, which is a classic Nashville country hit with a Nashville country sound, and I needed a Telecaster sound. Now, this guitar does have coil split functionality, and you can get a pretty good single coil tone out of it, but I decided to take the diametric opposite approach and see if I can make this Duncan distortion pickup sound like a Telecaster pickup just with that impulse response. Here's a small excerpt from the solo. So what did you guys think? Did it sound like a Duncan distortion humbucker, or did it have that single coil quack? Now, I thought I'd do something for you guys to help illustrate the difference. There's an outro solo in that song as well, and by the way, if you want to listen to the entire track, click the card up here, and I'll also have a link at the end of the video. The outro solo was originally played with a humbucker pickup, and I put the 3Sigma Audio Tele impulse response on it, and let's hear how it sounds with the original humbucker sound first. Okay, so that was a pretty typical humbucker tone. Let's put the Tele impulse response on another take of that solo and see how it sounds with that single coil quack still coming from the Duncan distortion humbucker. Finally, I thought I'd compare it to the single coil split functionality on this guitar. Now, this guitar does actually come with coil split, and in case you're checking one out in a guitar store, that's the difference between the SL2 model, the 6-string, and the SL7 model, the 7-string, is this has coil split, but you won't find it in the normal place. It doesn't have a push-pull pot. It actually uses the coil split in the 2nd and 4th position on the pickup selector switch. So it'll be distortion humbucker, coil split, both, coil split, distortion humbucker. So let's hear how a proper single coil sound sounds with the coil split functionality of the humbucker activated. There you go, guys. What did you think? Leave me a comment in the comments below. And make sure to tell me if you thought that 3Sigma Audio's IRs are right on the money in your ears, and if they made this shredder machine sound like a Telecaster, or if there's still a lot of work to be done. Now, personally, I thought that the 3Sigma Audio IRs definitely made a clear difference from the humbucker tone, and I hope you guys heard that in the example with the outro solo. Now, do I think they're quite all the way there? I don't. I don't think that this sounds exactly like a Telecaster, but if this is the only guitar you have and you're like me and you're recording a country music cover with a metal guitar, they can help soften that sound up and make it a little more quacky. It's no substitute for a proper single coil sound, but it's arguably so that the single coil sound on this guitar is more akin to that of a Stratocaster than that of a Tele, and that the 3Sigma Audio IR probably would be very good at recreating the Tele sound a little bit better. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please give this video a like if you like it. Subscribe by clicking this round subscribe button right here. Watch the Casey Musgraves cover video by clicking on the microphone right up here, and a list of my guitar solos right on here. Thanks a lot and have a great day. My name's Andy Kravlicha.